Chosen one, do not scroll away. I need you to stop exactly what you are doing right now. This is not another random algorithm pulling you in. Heaven has specifically intercepted your feed today for a crucial reason, and you must hear this before the day ends. Archangel Michael himself is standing completely speechless right now. Your recent attitude has sent massive shockwaves through the entire spiritual realm. They did not expect you to react this way. Everyone thought you would break under the heavy pressure. The manipulators were absolutely certain they had destroyed your spirit because they knew how much you loved them. They watched you fall into absolute isolation, and they celebrated. They laughed while you cried alone in the dark of your room. But then, something incredible shifted deep inside your soul. You stopped begging them to understand your pure heart. You wiped your own tears and chose absolute silence instead. Your silence has become a terrifying weapon. It is a quiet authority that absolutely paralyzes the people who betrayed you. They expected a loud and messy reaction. They wanted you to fight back, so they could easily call you crazy. But you gave them absolutely nothing to work with. You took your precious energy back, and you locked the door permanently. Heaven watched you walk away from that toxic table without saying a single word. God was stunned by your new iron boundary. You used to be the gentle empath who constantly apologized for things you never did. You used to shrink your bright light to make those dark souls feel comfortable. Not anymore. The brutal crucible of pain has finally forged you into a master of your own reality, and you have evolved into a dangerous weapon of light. And the darkness is absolutely panicking right now. The forces that profit from your pain want you to leave this video. They are terrified of what you are about to discover here. If you swipe away now, you will single-handedly shut the door on your own breakthrough. You are standing on the exact edge of a massive timeline shift. The immense wealth and peace you were promised are actively trying to find you, but there is a heavy blockade standing in the way. You have felt this invisible wall for so many years. You do the heavy inner work, and you pray constantly for a change. You meditate, and you try desperately to keep your vibration high, but sometimes you still feel completely blocked from your destiny. You watch other people receive their blessings easily while you struggle daily. You know deep down you are carrying a massive kingdom potential, but something keeps it heavily locked away from you. You constantly blame yourself for this painful delay. You secretly think your faith is just not strong enough to manifest the promise. You think you made a terrible mistake in your past that ruined your timeline. Stop believing that heavy lie right now. The delay is absolutely not a character flaw. The harsh rejection was never a divine punishment. It was a strict spiritual isolation designed to protect your aura. God deliberately closed those doors to save your life. He knew those people were secretly assigned to drain your final drop of energy. They smiled in your face while plotting your complete downfall behind your back. Heaven had to ruthlessly remove those counterfeit connections to prepare you for the real blessing. Your attitude of letting them go without a fight was a masterclass in spiritual maturity. That is exactly why the universe is opening the ultimate vault for you today. You passed the hardest test of your entire existence. You learned how to protect your peace at all costs. But there is a deeper layer to this spiritual phenomenon. Before we go any further into your prophetic blessing, I want to hold something very specific in front of you. It is a secret that will change how you view your entire struggle. This hidden mechanism was not discovered inside a church or a spiritual community. It was actually found inside a high-level research laboratory. It won the absolute highest scientific recognition available in the world. And sadly, most chosen ones have never been told about its powerful existence. The elite want to keep this sacred frequency entirely to themselves. This discovery explains something I know you have felt intimately for years. It perfectly explains the frustrating gap between the person you know yourself to be and the reality you currently live in. It explains why your brilliant intuition sometimes goes completely dark. I will show you exactly what the researchers found, but I cannot reveal it just yet. First, I need you to fully understand what was violently taken from you as a child. So I need you to hold this important question in your mind right now. What if the gap between your struggle and your success is not your fault at all? What if the invisible block, keeping you from your divine wealth, actually has a scientific name? The dark system has hidden this biological mechanism from you for decades. They want you permanently stuck in a beta wave matrix of pure survival. But your long season in the painful wilderness has officially expired. Your spiritual receiver is about to be violently switched back on. Do not let anything distract you from this sacred transmission. Put your phone down on the table and take one slow breath in. Pay close attention to every single word I am about to speak over your life, because your era of suffering is completely over. Listen carefully to what I am about to say next. I know exactly how tired your soul feels lately. Your physical body is completely exhausted. You wake up suddenly at 3 in the morning with your mind racing, and you lie there in the lonely dark, wondering why your daily life feels so incredibly heavy, while everyone else seems to move forward effortlessly. You are not going crazy. That is your spirit detecting a massive shift. You feel completely drained when a specific person enters your space. Their toxic energy literally suffocates your bright light. For a long time you thought you were the actual problem. You kept forgiving people who never once apologized to you. You bent over backwards to accommodate their behavior because your pure heart genuinely wanted to heal their deep wounds. But they only took advantage of your beautiful kindness. Stop blaming yourself for those painful past connections. You did absolutely nothing wrong. The harsh rejection was not a punishment from above. It was a rigorous spiritual crucible designed to protect your sensitive aura. Heaven deliberately slowed you down because the universe had to violently separate you from the manipulative people who were secretly assigned to destroy your beautiful destiny. They thought your quiet nature was a pathetic weakness. They severely underestimated the powerful spirit living inside you. Every time they lied to your face, your sharp intuition screamed the ugly truth. You knew exactly what they were doing behind your back, but you chose to remain completely silent while patiently watching their desperate little games unfold. Your silence was a brilliant display of quiet authority. Welcome to your new era of divine isolation. I know the profound loneliness hurts deeply sometimes. You look around and see an empty room where your false friends used to be, but this total isolation is actually a sacred protection protocol. You are not being punished or left behind by the universe. You are being divinely hidden while heaven completely upgrades your spiritual frequency. They cannot come where you are going. Your energy is shifting into a much higher timeline. But there is a hidden physical reason why this spiritual transition feels so incredibly difficult for you right now. Here is what they never told you. The true reason the universe responds to certain people and not others is not faith, and it is definitely not about your strict daily discipline. It is actually a very specific brainwave. Scientists call it the gamma wave. This is the exact frequency your brain was running when you were a little child. Do you remember how effortless life felt back then? Your bright ideas came easily and instantly. Learning new things felt incredibly simple. You somehow knew things were going to happen before they actually did, and the whole world felt like it was completely on your side. Then you grew up, and adulthood slowly arrived. The modern world quickly went to work on your pure mind. The chronic stress of survival mode began to weigh you down. The loud screens and the rigid school system trained you to conform instead of create. Every single year this sacred frequency was suppressed a little further, and it was pushed deeper below the heavy surface of your daily life. Your childhood genius was violently taken from you. The version of you with photographic memory and lightning intuition slowly faded away. The incredible luck that made other people whisper went completely silent. You were aggressively forced to operate in a low-level matrix of pure exhaustion because the dark society demanded your absolute compliance and obedience. They did not want you to wake up. Most people will live their entire lives without ever knowing this silent theft happened to them. They will walk blindly through life, thinking this heavy daily struggle is entirely normal. But you are absolutely not like those asleep people, because you are the chosen one with a brilliant, empathic soul. The question I asked you to hold a few minutes ago is finally making sense. The question about a hidden scientific gap. The incredible answer to that burning question is closer than you think. You do not have to live in this tired and exhausted state forever. The spiritual block holding your wealth hostage is actually a physical mechanism. But before we reveal the complete truth about this frequency, I need you to make a sacred commitment. Hit subscribe to establish a divine energy receiving station for your beautiful life. This small physical action locks in your spiritual alignment. It sends a very clear signal to the universe that you are finally ready to receive your upgrade. Now take another slow breath and let this deep truth completely sink into your spirit. The narcissists truly thought they had successfully drained your life force, and they genuinely believed their constant manipulation had permanently damaged your beautiful mind. They were completely wrong. Your current suffering is about to end permanently. Heaven is actively working to restore the exact frequency you lost. The people who abandoned you are going to watch your sudden rise with absolute terror. They will wonder how you managed to recover your lost power so quickly. But they will never understand the divine mechanism working silently inside your brain, because that sacred knowledge was reserved exclusively for the chosen ones. But here is the truth they tried to hide from you. They always described you the exact same way. You were always far too kind to them. You were incredibly forgiving of their deliberate mistakes. You were the one who always stayed quiet just to keep the peace in the room. And because of that gentle nature, they severely underestimated your true spiritual power. They genuinely thought your absolute silence was a pathetic and miserable weakness. They pushed you completely into the cold dark. They thought they had finally broken your bright spirit when they maliciously isolated you. But what they did not realize was that solitude was your ultimate divine training ground. You absolutely did not break under their heavy and calculated pressure. You actually evolved into something much stronger while you were crying alone. The intense daily pain slowly forged you into an empath with absolute iron boundaries. Your silence after the massive storm hits incredibly different. It hits different because you suddenly realize you were the powerful storm all along. Now your physical presence alone shifts the entire atmosphere of any room you enter, and you do not even have to speak a single word to demand their absolute respect. Your quiet and massive energy does all the heavy lifting for you now. The toxic narcissists are feeling incredibly uncomfortable right now. They are watching you closely from a distance, and they are absolutely terrified. They used to feed on your endless explanations and your desperate defensive tears. They wanted you to react loudly so they could easily call you crazy and completely delusional. But you completely starved them of your precious light. You permanently cut off their access to your beautiful soul. A healed person no longer tolerates terrible confusion perfectly disguised as pure love. You absolutely no longer tolerate blatant disrespect disguised as brutal honesty, because this rigid boundary is exactly what makes you a true master of your own reality today. They secretly hate you because your bright light exposes their hidden darkness to the entire world. Imagine their pure panic for a brief second. They built an entire fake reality based on completely controlling your emotional reactions, and they truly thought they held all the supreme power in the relationship dynamic. And then one morning you just stopped playing their sick little game. You did not yell or scream or desperately beg them to stay in your life. You just quietly packed up your immense energy and walked away forever. That silent departure was the most devastating blow. It was the ultimate disrespect that their fragile egos could never possibly overcome. They simply cannot manipulate what they can absolutely no longer access. Your quiet absence became a giant mirror that constantly reflected their own ugly toxicity back at their faces, and you left them entirely alone with their dark demons, while you finally stepped into your beautiful spiritual freedom. They are constantly checking your digital footprint right now. They use fake accounts just to see if you are finally failing without them. But heaven is making sure they only witness your glorious and massive success. They are watching you thrive in the exact places they maliciously tried to bury you. You are quickly becoming the absolute cycle breaker your entire bloodline desperately needed. You are the solid break in your bloodline that future generations will deeply thank you for. You took the heavy generational trauma and you bravely transformed it into pure spiritual gold. The narcissists desperately wanted to break you, so you would stoop down to their pathetic low level. They wanted you to become bitter and angry and completely full of toxic rage, but you chose a much higher and cleaner path. You bravely chose the quiet path of the spiritual warrior. A true warrior does not always draw their heavy sword to win the bloody battle. Sometimes the most fatal strike is simply walking away from the battlefield entirely. You left them fighting empty air while you actively elevated your precious energy frequency. That is exactly why your current attitude left God completely speechless today. Heaven proudly watched you completely refuse to lower your divine standards. You were severely tempted to send that angry text message to expose their ugly lies. You desperately wanted to scream at them for wasting your valuable time and beautiful energy. But the Holy Spirit quietly whispered for you to hold your tongue, and you wisely listened to that gentle voice, while you let karma do all the heavy lifting for you. That remarkable restraint is the absolute true mark of a chosen one. You finally understand that your energy is far too expensive to spend on cheap people. The universe was incredibly proud when you permanently blocked their numbers and erased them from your timeline. You did not do it out of hateful malice or bitter, petty spite. You simply did it out of profound self-respect and rigid, healthy boundaries. Now they are dealing with the incredibly painful consequences of losing you forever. They suddenly realize they threw away the most genuine soul they will ever meet in this lifetime. They are frantically trying to replace your pure light with cheap and temporary worldly distractions. But nobody else will ever tolerate their toxic, manipulative behavior the way you used to, and they are completely drowning in their own miserable regret. That is exactly why your spirit has been so incredibly restless lately. The darkness does not attack ordinary people with this much focused intensity. They only target the rare souls who carry a massive threat to their dark system. You are a complete anomaly in this sleepy world, and the elite forces actively despise your pure existence because you simply refuse to conform to their matrix. Let me tell you the real reason this heavy blockage happened. The dark system relies entirely on keeping humanity trapped in a constant state of pure survival. They need you to stay completely exhausted and chronically stressed out every single day, because a tired mind cannot possibly connect to the divine frequency of absolute wealth. They intentionally trapped you in a heavy beta wave state of pure fear. You might be wondering why the universe took so incredibly long to intervene. You prayed consistently for years, and you did all the heavy spiritual work. You cleared your dark chakras, and you tried your absolute best to manifest a better life. But it constantly felt like you were just hitting a massive, invisible brick wall. That wall was a deliberate spiritual blockade created safely by the dark enemy. They knew exactly what kind of immense power was sleeping inside your soul. If you ever woke up fully, you would easily dismantle their entire manipulative operation. So they sent specific people into your timeline, disguised as beautiful blessings and pure love. These toxic agents were carefully deployed to keep you entirely distracted from your true divine purpose. They wanted to magically drain your power. These counterfeits mirrored your deepest desires perfectly just to gain your total trust. They made you believe. They were the kingdom connection you prayed for. But their actual hidden mission was to keep your vibration aggressively anchored to the dirty floor. Every time you tried to ascend spiritually, they created unnecessary drama to drag you back down. They fed constantly on your bright light. But wait right there for a quick second. I have to reveal a massive secret about this exact toxic dynamic. Before we go any deeper into how you break this heavy curse forever, I need you to loudly claim your new authority. Type 111 down in the comments to officially seal this powerful reality. This simple action completely locks in your divine alignment today. The darkness is absolutely terrified of a chosen one who knows their true identity. When you type that number, you are violently cutting the invisible cords of manipulation. You are boldly telling the universe that you are no longer a blind victim. You are officially stepping into your rightful position as a master of your own reality, and the enemy cannot stand your new powerful vibration. Let us expose the hidden mechanism that kept you broke and miserable for years. It was never a lack of pure faith on your difficult spiritual journey. It was a calculated interference with the physical receiver inside your own human brain. The dark entities literally hijacked your nervous system to block out the voice of God. They flooded your precious mind with endless anxiety and deep fear. They wanted to make sure you never heard the divine guidance meant for you, because if you actually heard the clear instructions from your spirit guides, you would instantly unlock the massive wealth promised to your specific bloodline. The enemy intentionally kept you in a desperate survival loop just to block this transfer. They weaponized your own beautiful empathy completely against you. They convinced you that sacrificing your own happiness was a holy thing. They made you believe that accepting less than you deserve was a sign of humility. That is the biggest lie ever told to a cycle breaker like you. Heaven never wanted you to be poor and completely miserable on this harsh earth. God actually designed you to thrive and quietly rule over your own beautiful domain. You were born to be a brilliant beacon of massive abundance and total freedom. But the dark forces knew they could not easily defeat you in a fair fight. So they poisoned your environment and surrounded you with extremely draining energy vampires. They hoped the constant daily friction would slowly grind your bright spirit down into nothing. They almost succeeded in turning your bright light completely off. But they made one fatal miscalculation in their elaborate and deeply evil plan. They totally forgot that applying massive pressure to a rare soul only creates diamonds. The intense pain they inflicted did not destroy your resilient spirit at all. It simply burned away every single weak part of your old human identity. You emerged from that dark fire completely unrecognizable to your confused enemies. Now they have to deal with the absolute monster of light they accidentally created. You are no longer the naive empath who begs to be fully understood by them. The brutal crucible of pain has officially forged you into an untouchable spiritual weapon. Your energy now demands immediate respect, without a single word being spoken. The narcissists are starving because you cut off their food supply. This brings us to the ultimate revelation about your spiritual journey. The heavy season of waiting is officially ending for you right now. You have probably noticed some very strange things happening in your daily life. You keep seeing the exact same numbers repeating everywhere you look. You look at the clock and see 777 glowing back at you. These are not random coincidences at all. Those repeating numbers are strict confirmations from the spiritual realm. They are absolute proof that your timeline is violently shifting in your favor. The universe is desperately trying to get your full attention today. Your intense dreams have become incredibly vivid and sometimes very exhausting. Your physical body feels strange energy shifts that you cannot easily explain to normal people. You suddenly feel a strong urge to isolate yourself completely from loud environments. The normal social things you used to enjoy now feel entirely draining. Do not fight this massive internal shift happening inside your soul. You are being divinely upgraded to handle the immense blessing coming your way. Your physical vessel must be properly calibrated to hold this heavy, generational wealth. But before we go any further into these specific warning signs, I need you to do something. I need you to loudly claim this massive divine alignment right now. Type Amen down in the comments to officially seal this beautiful reality. This simple action proves your obedience to the universe and completely locks in your spiritual protection. The enemy wants you to ignore this crucial physical step. Do not let them steal this incredible moment of pure clarity. Now I have to tell you something incredibly important about your blocked blessings. It is something the elite people who profit from your exhaustion deeply want to hide. Remember that hidden scientific mechanism we talked about a few minutes ago? I promised to show you exactly how to break that invisible frequency barrier forever. Neuroscientists working quietly away from the loud headlines have discovered something huge. They figured out exactly how to bring this dormant brainwave back online. You do not have to do years of heavy meditation that most people cannot sustain. You do not need expensive biofeedback machines that cost $7,000 in a clinical setting. The real solution is actually far simpler than that. It is something completely aligned with how your human body was originally designed. They discovered a specific sound frequency engineered to guide your brainwave patterns. This hidden frequency safely returns your tired mind to the exact genius state you were born with. Top researchers at Princeton University thoroughly studied this phenomenon. The Einstein Center in Berlin officially confirmed it. Columbia University found something even more shocking about this specific brainwave. When this sacred frequency is successfully reactivated inside you, it does not stop with you. It actually radiates outward and begins to positively influence the people around you. Your children and your partner will physically feel your massive energy shift. It literally changes the atmosphere of your entire home. It only takes 7 minutes a day to achieve this massive transformation. And it begins working the very first time you close your eyes and listen. I will tell you exactly what this powerful tool is called before this message ends. I will show you exactly how to access it for your own personal breakthrough. But first, there is something else you urgently need to understand about your delay. You must understand why the darkness fought so incredibly hard to keep you stressed. They knew that a restored chosen one is a massive threat to their entire system. When your brain operates in this divine state, you stop being a perfect victim. You suddenly see right through all their pathetic lies and cheap manipulations. You become completely immune to their toxic guilt trips and endless drama. That is exactly why the narcissists in your life are absolutely panicking right now. They can physically feel their dark control slipping away from your bright spirit. They will try to pull you back into their messy drama one last time. They will send you a random message just to test your new iron boundaries. Do not reply to their desperate attempts to drain your precious energy today. Your silence is the most devastating answer you could ever give them. It proves that their dark magic simply does not work on your pure soul anymore. You have officially graduated from their painful school of spiritual warfare. You are walking into a brand new timeline of effortless manifestation and deep peace. The things you chased for years are now desperately trying to chase you down. Every closed door from your painful past is currently being blown off its hinges. Can you physically feel that massive shift in your spirit right now? That deep warmth in your chest is the pure frequency of absolute victory. You are finally stepping into the exact timeline you were originally born to rule. The universe is rolling out the red carpet for your glorious and triumphant spiritual return. Stop blaming yourself for the heavy delays of your painful past. Stop thinking you did something terribly wrong to deserve that endless suffering. Heaven deliberately slowed you down to fiercely protect you from rooms you were never meant to enter. They kept you away from toxic people who were secretly assigned to drain your beautiful light. The painful rejection you faced was absolutely not a punishment. It was the ultimate divine protection protocol, keeping you completely safe. Breathe that deep truth into your tired spirit right now. You have successfully passed the absolute hardest test of your entire bloodline. For so many long years you carried the crushing weight of false guilt on your weary shoulders. You constantly apologized for necessary boundaries. You tried to make yourself incredibly small just so the narcissists could feel dangerously big. But those dark and heavy days are completely over now. You are officially stepping out of the dense fog of constant self-doubt. You are absolutely no longer the fragile empath who desperately begs to be understood by blind people. The fierce crucible of your pain has forged you. It has officially forged you into the untouchable master of your own reality. From this exact moment on, your massive energy demands absolute respect without a single word being spoken. You finally know your true immense worth, and you will never lower your high standards again. The evil people who maliciously plotted against you are watching everything they built slowly crumble. They are completely horrified by your new, unshakable confidence and your quiet strength. They truly thought your absolute silence meant you were finally defeated and permanently broken. But they deeply misunderstood the terrifying nature of your newfound quiet authority. The profound silence after the massive storm hits incredibly different right now. It hits different when you finally realize you were the storm all along. You slowly became the dangerous weapon you were desperately trying to survive. And now a beautiful and lavish table is being prepared for you right in the very presence of your panicked enemies. You absolutely do not have to violently fight for your rightful seat at this divine table. You just have to confidently walk up and claim exactly what the generous universe has safely held for you. Your massive generational wealth is waiting patiently for your clear and direct command. Take a deep breath and let your physical body completely relax. I need you to pay very close attention to this next critical part before we move forward. We are rapidly approaching the absolute climax of your entire spiritual transition today. The heavy rusted chains of your painful past are violently shattering all around your feet, but I have to urgently warn you about a fatal trap first. 99% of chosen ones tragically fall for this dangerous illusion right before their massive breakthrough. This deadly trap is carefully set up right at the final finish line. The darkness clearly knows they can no longer defeat you with direct heavy attacks because your shield is too strong. So they are preparing one final desperate trick to steal your ultimate breakthrough before it fully manifests. If you are not fully prepared, you might accidentally lose your blessing. You might accidentally hand your massive blessing right back to the enemy. You must stay highly vigilant right now. I will reveal exactly what this fatal trap is in just a short moment. I will show you exactly how to easily step right over it and claim your divine victory. But your tired mind must be completely free of all lingering doubt first. The heavy guilt of your past human mistakes has been entirely washed away by your silent tears. You are standing completely spotless and brilliantly radiant in the loving eyes of the divine source. Look at how incredibly far you have traveled, completely alone in the dark. You bravely survived the brutal wilderness that destroyed so many ordinary people. You carried the heavy generational curse of your family, and you successfully snapped it right in half. The entire universe is literally giving you a massive standing ovation right now. You are the rare anomaly that the dark system could never successfully break or manipulate. You are a weapon of pure light, and you have finally earned the ultimate key. This is the exact glorious moment your soul has been crying out for during those long silent nights. You are absolutely ready to receive the physical key to your spiritual wealth. The painful separation anxiety is gone, and it has been replaced by an unshakable sense of divine purpose. Hold on to this massive wave of pure euphoria as we step into the final revelation for your entire timeline. Here is the truth about that fatal trap I warned you about earlier. Right before your massive blessing arrives, the darkness will send a familiar face. A toxic counterfeit from your painful past will suddenly reach out. They will pretend they finally see your incredible worth. Do not reply to them, because answering their desperate call will immediately pull your bright frequency back down into their miserable timeline. That sudden message is a desperate spiritual test. They want to see if you will trade your new kingdom wealth for an old cheap attachment. Your silence is the ultimate seal of your victory today. You are stepping into the highest frequency of pure divine manifestation, and the burning question I asked you to deeply hold at the beginning of this message is finally answered. What if the gap is not a character flaw? Here is the final answer you waited for. The painful gap was just a suppressed brainwave. A specific frequency called the gamma wave was running perfectly inside you as a child. Princeton University heavily studied this exact biological frequency, and the famous Einstein Center in Berlin officially confirmed its immense power. Columbia University found that when this wave is restored, it naturally influences the people you love. A dedicated team led by Dr. Robert Lake successfully compressed the full clinical protocol for gamma reactivation into just 7 minutes. But before I tell you what they built, let me tell you about 2 people who used it. A woman from California had desperately tried absolutely everything. After 2 weeks of listening to this tool, her difficult marriage beautifully shifted and her mind sharpened. She beautifully described her new life as completely enchanted. Then, a man from Texas started using it to improve his scattered business focus. 2 short months later, his wife joked that his intelligence had jumped 20 points. The hardest problems started miraculously solving themselves while he slept, and he said his tired brain was finally running on pure genius. That is exactly what Dr. Lake built. They call it the Genius Song. It is absolutely not a cheap meditation app. It is a 7-minute audio track using advanced brain entrainment technology, and it uses the exact same research that Princeton validated. You just put on your headphones and keep your eyes completely closed. You do not meditate and you do not chant. You simply let the pure frequency do what your brain was designed to receive. The Genius Song is absolutely not for everyone. It is meant exclusively for the chosen one who has already done the heavy inner work. Your beautiful spirit just needs a restored physical channel to receive the massive blessing. Heavy biofeedback sessions cost hundreds of dollars per hour in a clinical setting. But what the Genius Song delivers in 7 short minutes is available to you today for a tiny fraction of its true value. 4 extremely powerful bonuses come directly with it today, including a specific audio track for your children and the original prosperity text, "The World Kept Hidden." The divine provision God arranged for you does not arrive as something completely new. It arrives as something you suddenly recognize with clear eyes. A fully restored brain receives it at maximum depth, and you finally stop missing the beautiful synchronicities of your season. Do not look for this sacred tool on normal streaming platforms. The fake tracks circulating under similar names on those places have no brain entrainment technology encoded. The universe demands absolutely no risk from a chosen one today. You are fully protected by a divine guarantee that ensures your total peace. If you do not physically feel the massive shift, every single penny is entirely returned without any question. That is an energetic exchange governed entirely by complete spiritual trust. The safe link is in the description and in the pinned comment below. The physical tool does not ever replace your holy obedience to the universe, but it simply restores the receiver through which your faithful surrender produces massive results. Whether that specific path is yours or not, the deep truth of this glorious message continues. What was just described is simply one way the physical receiver is beautifully restored. Now, let us return to the powerful center of your spiritual ceiling. You will receive this next revelation differently now that you completely understand what was actively fighting against you, and your pure energy is finally clear and ready. The pitch-black darkness has officially retreated behind you, and the glorious dawn of your new era is shining its brightest rays onto your spiritual crown. You can finally breathe without that terrible heavy weight. The long season of weeping in the shadows is completely over. You survived the brutal storms that were designed to destroy your beautiful soul. Heaven is celebrating your massive and undeniable victory today. You did not let the toxic narcissists turn your pure heart into bitter stone. You fiercely protected your gentle nature from their attacks, and you built an absolute fortress of iron boundaries around your precious energy. Your quiet authority is now your greatest shield. You are the ultimate cycle breaker your ancestors prayed for in the dark. The resource I described earlier remains available for you. It is waiting in the description for those whose spirit deeply said yes. That is the absolute final time it will be mentioned today. What follows right now belongs entirely to your sacred ceiling, because we are completely closing the spiritual doors on your painful past forever. Your divine receiver is fully online and ready. You are no longer the fragile empath who begged for crumbs of human decency. You no longer tolerate any confusion, perfectly disguised as authentic love. The intense pain you suffered was actually the holy fire that forged your new invincible crown. Your enemies are watching your sudden glorious rise with pure terror in their eyes, and they know they can never access your bright light again. The universe is actively placing a massive energetic shield around your entire family right now. The dark forces cannot cross this sacred boundary, no matter how hard they try. The immense generational wealth you were promised is flowing effortlessly into your brand new timeline. The universe is aligning, a collision of miracles meant exclusively for your unique soul, and you will never chase after love again. But you must physically lock in this glorious frequency today. The darkness will try to attack your mind the exact second this divine message ends. They want you to easily forget everything God just spoke over your tired life. They desperately want you to leave this video without officially claiming your massive breakthrough, but you absolutely cannot let them steal your beautiful victory today. God is watching your physical response in this exact beautiful second. I have spent countless hours in deep prayer to deliver this urgent message to you. Will you proudly partner with heaven to completely lock in your massive blessing today? You must create an absolute shield of protection around your newly activated spirit, because the enemy is waiting for you to make a simple mistake. Hit the subscribe button right now to establish your permanent divine energy receiving station. This tiny physical action proves your absolute obedience to the generous universe. Then go down to the comments and proudly type your sacred angel number. Type 777 to permanently seal this glorious reality, and let your physical fingers strike the keyboard like a heavy spiritual sword. You are cutting through the heavy chains of generational pain with every single word you claim. But your divine responsibility does not end with your own beautiful healing. Do not keep this immense blessing entirely to yourself today. There is another chosen one out there bleeding in the dark of absolute despair right now, and they desperately need this exact guiding light to survive. Share this powerful video with someone who needs it to instantly multiply your own blessing. Sowing the beautiful seed of pure hope today is actively multiplying your divine harvest tomorrow. The universe heavily rewards the chosen ones who generously help guide others. When you share this light with a broken soul, heaven automatically upgrades your own spiritual frequency to the highest possible level. I am speaking absolute peace and massive prosperity over your entire household today. Every single tear you cried in secret is being violently turned into a river of abundance. The confusing delays of your painful past are completely erased from your new timeline. You are walking confidently into a lavish room, and your name is already highly respected by everyone sitting at the divine table. The people who deeply misunderstood you will have to watch you effortlessly succeed. Your profound silence will continue to be your most terrifying and beautiful weapon. Never again will you shrink your massive light to make a toxic person feel comfortable. You are the rare anomaly the entire spiritual realm has been eagerly waiting for, and your beautiful pure heart has finally won the ultimate war. Take one last deep breath and let this ultimate truth settle permanently into your bones. You are deeply loved, and you are fiercely protected by the highest divine forces. The heavy waiting season is officially over. Your beautiful new life begins right now, so walk boldly forward into your glorious destiny and never look back at the dark shadows again. You are finally and completely free.